journey with this week's edition of Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Should I start the show, Brian, and call you Gator Breath? No, I'm just kidding.
Gator Breath.
We're going to talk about alligator hunting, and I am thrilled to death to see Anne Marie DeRamus in the studio with us. She is the Game and Fish Commissioner.
Not just that, she is the new chairperson for the Game and Fish.
Oh, I got royalty here. My goodness.
I don't know about royalty.
I do.
But yeah, I took over the chairman position last Thursday at our meeting. So really exciting, but also really bittersweet because that means that I'm entering into my last year on the Game and Fish Commission. Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
It seems like yesterday I was just coming on you guys' show back in 2019?
You know, and we always talk about how fast that year goes, but it seems like with you, how much life has lived in that 7 years, you know, with everybody. But you've got, you know, you've had a child while you've been on the commission.
That's
You're
right.
going to have another one before your term is done.
Exactly.
There's a lot of life that goes on during those 7 years.
Yeah, a lot of changes. I mean, I was 27, about to turn 28 when I was appointed. And now I'm going into my mid-30s. That's really a huge life change in those years.
So
in the meantime, we've moved and
yeah,
to experience a lot of cool things.
And how has your perspective, you know, on hunting, fishing, game and fish matters, the way things run, how has that changed from 28 to 34 or whatever?
I have a much deeper appreciation for the work that not only Arkansas Game and Fish does, but all of our partners. You know, we couldn't do what we do without our partners. And conservation is something that's ever evolving. And whether it comes to creatures below the water or above the water, I've seen just so much change and evolve over the years, from our GTR work to Lake Conway renovations, you name it. The opening of Lake Monticello, that's huge. Lake Poinsett. And, you know, the list continues on. But that's what I've been the most surprised about, is how much work our people put in to all these places and how it's just ever evolving and ever changing. And precious.
I don't think people realize the commitment you all have to make to be on this commission.
40 hours a month, roughly, is what JD said.
Might be more than that on some occasions.
Right.
Yeah, it's you know, we take really 2 days out of our week once a month to come to Little Rock, or if we're on the road elsewhere, to meet. But really, it's more like 3 days, because Tuesday, you know, sometimes we'll have an event that night, or prepping, or traveling. So it's quite the time commitment.
Well,
but I wouldn't trade it.
What a lot of people don't understand also is that, you know, before the meetings, you all get I call it the Bible, and it's all of the stuff that the commission's doing that you all have to digest and be aware of, and it's just a huge volume, and it's updated every month, and that's what your business is.
It is, yeah, and we have to read through all of that because it has, you know, legal contracts in it, regulations in some cases, although we try to keep those to every other year. And Brian, if you noticed, the millennial in me, you know, everyone else gets theirs printed off and it's a big old stack of paper.
Yours is on the phone.
Mine's on the phone. I went there. So, yeah, we get that about a week before our meeting, and it's important that we scan through it because in the end, we're in charge of the budget and where our taxpayer money goes. And that's, I think, one of the biggest responsibilities on our shoulders. So we got to be good stewards of that.
It seems to me also that during your time, starting really from the beginning to now, was a shift, some kind of a shift, and I really can't put my finger on it, but I think it was kind of with the retirement of some people that had been there for a long time, new directors coming on, but it just seemed like Game and Fish took on a lot of new responsibilities or got involved in things to a deeper level than they had been before, where it was, you know, more not concentrated, but you just took on more, like with the mollusks and the non-huntable species, you know, more habitat-related stuff. It just seemed like it became a much more deeper, involved, holistic, big picture view of things than might have been before that.
I agree with that. And I've noticed that evolve on the commission as well. You know, I didn't know, I heard JD say this last week, and it's so true. I didn't know what a leopard darter was until I joined the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. And one thing that has come to light in the past few years, you talked about, you know, people retiring, some turnover. We got a lot of great young folks at the Arkansas Game and Fish. And, you know, they're very passionate, obviously, about what they do, and they are bringing a lot of light to these conservation issues, not just ducks and deer, but did you know that Arkansas has more mussel species than Africa? I mean, isn't that insane? A small state like Arkansas, more mussel species than Africa. I mean, that just blows my mind to think about it. But, you know, like I said, it's not just all about ducks and deer and gators that we're going to talk about. We have to take care of all these other critters as well and natural resources.
So Brian, was it salamander or one of those darters that kept the Bass Pro Shop from being over in North Little Rock at the interchange?
You know, that's been so long ago. I don't remember what that was, but it seemed like there was something like that involved. Yeah.
I think that is right, Ray. It was a protected species. I'm not positive. I'd have to double check it, but I do remember hearing about that.
Write that down, Brian. I was right about something.
Yeah, and it seemed like there was something kind of like that over at the Bass Pro Shop site too. I don't remember what that was all about.
The one on Otter Creek.
Yeah, yeah, but that got, you know, started and stopped a couple of times till it finally ended up down in the River Market, which is an interesting. If you've never been to that facility down there, it's one of those oxymoronic places. Like, what is that doing down here? But it's in the middle of everything, where you get a lot of people that might not ever visit a game and fish facility that go in there out of curiosity.
Oh, I can't tell you how many people, you know, from out of town that are here on business just to stroll through there and they go, wow, we didn't know that, you know, the Game and Fish Commission did this. And our educators are fantastic at answering questions and getting people pointed in the right direction to get outdoors. I've also heard multiple people host their kids' birthday parties down there, which actually is a little bit more relatable to me now, because that's what I'm thinking about these days. Well, not quite yet, but yeah, our nature centers are extremely popular, so we get a lot of traffic in them.
And there are a lot of facilities like that. I think Game and Fish operates 4 major nature centers, you know, designated ones, in addition to a lot of other conservation education centers that are kind of like a level below that.
I don't know if we call one a major nature center over, you know, a conservation center. I just call them all nature centers.
Yeah.
So the one in Little Rock, it's very charming, and it's cool that it's in the middle of downtown. Some of my favorites, actually, have you been up to Fred Berry?
Yes.
That one is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because right off the river, Crooked Creek. Yeah, it is. It's Crooked Creek up there, and you can fish, you can hunt. There's just so much opportunity. And then Rick Evans down outside of Texarkana is another incredible
cool
one.
Place. Real quick story about Fred Berry. I went fishing up there with Rusty Pruitt one time and my son Matthew, and you know, you're supposed to check in at the Fred Berry. Well, we went off fishing and fished all day, you know, and came back and got locked in.
Did you get a ticket?
No, but had to call the sheriff, who called the game warden, and he came down and let me in. And says, "Did you check in?" I said, "No." We said, "You went right past the sign." I said, "I don't want to be a jerk, but came from Little Rock, and I passed about 350,000 signs on the way up here, and I didn't read them all." And he just looked at me like, "Touche, you know, get out of here, go home."
All right, we're going to talk alligator hunting when we come back here on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Coming to you live from our Honda North Little Rock studios. Stay with us. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
This is Pat Bradley, and you've heard it before on The Buzz, how Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union is helping members step into the future with their summer auto loan special. Ultra-low rates as low as 1.99%, 84 months financing, and no payments for 90 days. Offer valid on new, used, or refinanced 23, 24, and 25 models. Deals like this don't last forever. Apply online at alcoacommunityfcu.org and drive into the future with Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union, serving 15 counties across central Arkansas.
Shipments of spring and summer fashions are arriving at Bell & Sword. That means swimwear from Saks, Peter Noir golf wear and shirts, Johnny O's store within a store. Be sure to check out the Faraday line and Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. So hurry in for a great value on quality men's clothing at Bell & Sword for your spring and summer items. And you'll look fantastic. Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in downtown Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we are visiting with Anne Marie Doremus, the newly minted Arkansas Game and Fish Commission chairperson. She is entering her 7th year as a Game and Fish Commissioner, and how fast that time has gone by. We've been talking about that. But also, Anne Marie is a very avid hunter and angler. And gosh, you've hunted deer. You killed your first turkey a couple of years ago. Got your second one this year, right?
My third.
Third. But you've also are a successful alligator huntress.
I am.
Ooh, I like that huntress.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I got the opportunity to harvest an alligator. I think it was in September 2020. And actually hunted down over up of Lodge's Corner, which is where our farm is. But I hunted at a neighbor's place who's actually a former commissioner, Rick Hampton. A lot of people are very familiar with Hampton's Reservoir, not only for the incredible duck hunting and abundant bird species that are down there. It's like a birder's paradise. Mm-hmm. But also some of the biggest alligators in the state have been pulled out of Hampton's Reservoir. So it was pretty cool. But I remember going out there. I was with Sloan Hampton and Jason Berry. And I took Andrew Parker with me because Joe couldn't go. So I called Parker and said, well, I get to take a buddy with me to assist me. Do you want to go? And he said, yep, something I've always wanted to experience. So we go out. We meet Sloan and Jason. And they shine this light out across the water, which I've duck hunted there before, actually, with you, Brian, a couple times.
Yep.
And, we've stood in that water on multiple occasions.
Mhm.
And it was a sea of red eyes just poking up. And you're like, oh, my.
Not a safe place for a dog to be retrieving ducks.
Absolutely not. And I'm a big dog lover, too. So Mr. Barron will not be going out to Hampton's Reservoir ever. But so we go out and, just because you see a sea of red eyes doesn't mean that getting an alligator is going to be given, because they're pretty tricky and pretty smart. You have to be pretty stealth and sneaky. So let's see, we tried to sneak up on a few. We kind of got a good idea what size they were by looking at, I think it was the distance between their eyes.
You were in a boat, right?
I was definitely in a boat. I was not walking across the water, Ray. Even though we were just talking about Brian's article about fishing match between KVD and Jesus, but we'll come back to that maybe later. So, so we were in a boat, and I was like, of course, my first gator, I want to get a pretty good sized gator. I don't want to come home with a small one. I think that the minimum length is 3 feet, 3 or 4 feet, 4.
4? I thought it was.
It is 4. You're right. I don't think it's 6. I have to go back and look. But anyway, so trying to get an idea of the size of them by looking at their snout, distance between their eyes, etc. And I try the first time to harpoon it because, in Arkansas, it's not like it is in Louisiana where we bait them and they grab onto a hook that's tied to a tree and, you just shoot them. It's only done at night, and you have to harpoon the alligator in the back of the neck, kind of a soft spot back there, and that's extremely hard. So I get reared up, approach one alligator, complete miss. This thing, he was up and then he was gone. They're pretty fast guys. So anyway, I was just glad that I didn't fall into the water. In fact, I think that Jason Berry was right behind me, and he was grabbing onto my shirt to make sure that I didn't get too carried away and fall in. So the first jab was unsuccessful. Then we go on to another one, and I was like, okay, this is it. They go, all right, as hard as you can, They're coaching me up, and we kind of snuck up on it. I think we turned the motor off right as we're going up to it, and bam, I got him right in the back of the neck. So they're doing the roll. Yeah, the death roll that you hear about. I mean, just going wild. I mean, it was like being on one of these outdoor shows, or what's the one, Swamp People. That's kind of how I felt in the heat of the moment,
right.
Except it was at night. But eventually the alligator calmed down, and you bring it up next to the boat. They tire out, and that's when you shoot it in the head with a shotgun, and he was dispatched, and we loaded him in the boat, duct taped his mouth, and that was it.
Did you ever feel, that's got to be really intense, with this ancient reptile, but did you ever feel any kind of tension there? Like, man, if I fall out this boat, this is going to be bad news.
It crossed my mind, but in the heat of the moment, you really can't think about that because you have to concentrate on getting this thing and getting him in the boat and staying safe and, just focusing on the hunt. So in the heat of the moment, no, I wasn't.
Was there a lot of yelling and shouting and, things getting kicked over? And
afterwards, yes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, well, maybe not afterwards. The yelling and shouting afterwards because we were high-fiving like, oh, we did it. It worked. So that was really fun. But, then we go back to the boat ramp and actually got checked by a game warden that night. It wasn't Randy Rhodes. It was Mike McGee. Came by to check on us. He's now retired from the Game and Fish. So anyway, got my hunting license checked. Everything was good and legit. And then they said probably the worst part of the hunt was, okay, time to clean it.
Yeah. We'll discuss that on the back side.
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
to.
I want to know how many belts and shoes you got out of that alligator. All right, we'll take a break back after this. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
A sale 200 million years in the making. It's Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event. Get out of that old fossil into a new GMC Sierra starting as low as $479 a month. Every new Buick on the lot at 0.9%. During Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event, we're rendering your current loan completely extinct. Make an appointment to get out of the dinosaur you're currently driving. 501-945-4444. 2025 Sierra 2500 HD. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP. Sierra 1500 with up to $12,500 off. Terrain's at just $279 per month. It's the loan and lease extinction event at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30833, 31064, 31456. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Since 2009, the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery has provided more than $1 billion in scholarships to thousands of Arkansans just like you. So thanks a billion, Arkansas. If you'd like to apply for the scholarship, simply go to sams.adhe.edu and fill out the information. And just like that, you're applied. The deadline's coming up, so don't forget. Apply now at sams.adhe.edu.
Hello, I'm Brett Rogers, President of Capital Technology Group. You might know us as Capital Business Machines, but our new name represents our growth as one of the state's leaders in business technology. When you've been around for 80 years like we have, you learn a thing or two about change. But what will never change is our commitment to our clients. We're still the same reliable team here to meet all your technology needs. Capital Technology Group is bigger and better than ever before. Learn more at captg.com.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. Time now to talk to Neil Atkinson with Sarah's Casino Resort down in Pine Bluff. Neil, things I don't just ever slow down for you. NBA season's over with now. NHL's over with. Got a lot of WNBA going on and Major League Baseball.
That's fair enough to say it slows down, and Lord, they ought to let me catch my breath every now and then, and this is about when we do it. So, yep. But everybody's kind of pivoting towards looking at Major League Baseball, and we've been seeing a nice little pickup in the WNBA this year with all the little extracurricular activities and things of that nature, and it's got a lot of public interest about it. And we're also in the kind of the season where boxing and UFC are taking center stage. They've got a big weekend coming up this weekend. You got the Jake Paul Chavez fight. Then you got UFC 317, and just about all of the UFC fights have a lot of heavy interest. And by the way, both of those will be on the TV at Saracen Resort this weekend too.
And you got that plug-in, didn't you, big guy?
Oh yeah, I got to tell you, and it's car giveaway weekend too, so it's not a bad weekend to be up there.
Easy to download the app, correct?
Yeah, just go to betsaracen.com on the web, or go to your phone to the App Store and type in Bet Saracen. Download the app, hit the registration button, and don't forget about our new player special where you type in welcome in the code in the bonus code area when you register. And after you make your first $25 bet and it settles, we'll give you an additional $125 in free play.
Brian's eyes lit up when you said that.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal.
All right. I know you've been busy and been traveling some or whatever. I appreciate your time. And I'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Take care, Ray.
Okay. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Download the app, betsaracen.com.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. We're visiting with Anne Marie Doremus, Game and Fish Commissioner, Game and Fish Commission Chairman. And we have been talking alligator hunting, and one of the things that we kind of have been talking about is that there's so much interest in alligator hunting, and the public really has only access to public waters, and there's a whole lot more of them on private. What are some ideas to, kind of help more people be able to take advantage of that opportunity?
Yeah, there's a lot on private, but there's also plenty of opportunity on public land. In fact, I'm sitting here. I had to go brush up on how many public land permits were available. Actually, in Zone 1, there's 20 permits available. That's for the western part of the state. 12 for Millwood Lake, which is really, really great. Let's see here. Zone 2, which is South Central Arkansas, only 3 permits, so not as much. And then Zone 3, which is where I hunt, let's see, 18 permits total. So, you can put in to draw for that. And also, a side note, it is a $5 application fee. You have to be an Arkansas resident, and you have to be at least 16 years old. Not only to get the permit, but also to assist in being the boat during the alligator hunt. We've gotten a lot of questions on that, like, oh, can I take my kid with me? No, they got to be 16. So,
great idea.
Wanted to be clear on that. Now back, I think it was my first or second year on the commission. Time's gone fast and is running together, but we made it to where people who on private land had an opportunity to go out and harvest alligators, because we're starting to get complaints from folks saying, hey, I'm seeing a lot of these on my property. I need to go thin the herd, so to speak. And so we made it to where it is a quota system, just like our bear hunting season or our elk hunting season, where you call after you make a harvest, of course, having your tag and your hunting license. And once you've checked it and the quota is met, then the season in that zone closes. So it's important to know that, but more of an opportunity for private land hunters as well. And also, if you have a buddy who has private land, you can go in and, with their permission, hunt on there too. So keep that in mind as well if that's an opportunity that you're looking for.
Ryan, we were talking a little bit in the break, and her being the first female on the commission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was you're the first woman to ever be appointed to a full term, and what was that perspective like? To be the first at that, and to kind of break the barrier into what had been an all male club.
Golly, it seems so long ago now. I mean, I just really don't think anything about it. I guess I'm so I've been raised in working in the business world, and I don't think about that being a thing, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I grew up with 3 older brothers and spent a lot of time going to work with my dad, and I guess there's that whole other level of just comfort as well, where I'm used to being around a bunch of guys. But as far as being the first woman, I was very honored that Governor Hutchinson chose me for this position in general, and flattered that I'm the first woman appointed to a full term. I do want to give props, though, that the first woman appointed to the commission was actually Pat Peacock from Stuttgart.
I knew Miss Pat.
Yeah, and see, I never got to know her. I talked to her daughter after I was appointed because I really, really wanted to meet her. But I know that she had succumbed to some illnesses and, wasn't up for as many visitors. And I know she passed away here a few years ago. So I was sad that I didn't get to meet her and, get to learn from her and talk to her a little bit more. But fantastic woman. Obviously very involved with duck hunting. I think that was her signature thing. Very involved with Ducks Unlimited. And she got to serve, I think, 1 or 2 years.
Yeah. So
it was a short term, but I wish she could have served 7.
So I stand corrected. Back in the mid-'70s, I emceed the World Championship duck calling a few times, and that's how I met Pat and others over in Stuttgart. Rex Hancock, who was quite the character. But anyway.
Famous.
She was a neat lady, yeah.
When you think about all of the legendary conservationists that came from that whole area, Dr. Hancock and Pat Peacock and just all of the duck calling people, that whole duck hunting culture, that subset of society that was down there in the Stuttgart and DeWitt area. Of course, that's where you hunt, down at Hasty Drake there. What was it like, growing up among those folks?
They were around long before I was born, Brian.
Well, no, but they're people, they're kids and all that. I mean, you've been steeped in that culture there.
It's funny because I didn't know much about that. I mean, obviously, I knew who people like George Dunklin were because he owned some land around us, and I knew his involvement with Ducks Unlimited, and I knew Marion McCullum because Max Prairie Wings. Hello, if you go to Stuttgart, you're gonna see it. It's the big tourist attraction there. But as far as knowing all these other folks, I guess I just wasn't concentrated on that. Being a kid growing up, we just wanted to go to the farm and get outside and go hunt and go fish and have a good time. So I guess none of that enamored me. But, of course, as I've grown to be an adult and have gotten more into history and reading about this and more involved in conservation, I hear about these people and where they're from, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty close to where I grew up going. So that's really cool.
When you look back, when you'll have some time after your term is ended and you kind of ease back into the civilian world and everything, how do you think you'll look back on your time with the commission? What would be the things that you'd be proudest of when you reflect on it?
I'm going to be proud of all the projects that we have undertaken the past few years. Our GTR renovation project, that was bold. That was a big, big move. And that wasn't just a single person effort either. That was a group effort led by our staff who said, now's the time. In fact, it's probably past time. We need to do this. And I'm not going to lie. Some people probably would have questioned the science, would have questioned, is now the right time to do it? But especially now that I have children of my own, we've got to think about the future. We've got to think about how to make these places sustainable and to have them around not only for my children, but my children's children.
GTR is Green Tree Reservoirs.
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have said that. So that and these lake renovations, Lake Conway, it's not easy to go in and tell somebody who has a lakefront home that, hey, sorry, but by the way, for the next 5 years, this lake's going to be dry. Mm-hmm. We got to go in and do some major renovations, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. That's not an easy thing to do. but it's the right thing to do because we owe it to the people of Arkansas, to our hunters, anglers, the people that live on the lake, and I think that time will fly by and it's all going to be worth it.
We're visiting with Anne Marie Doremus on Arkansas, Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Lowell Myers with Sword Lip 'em All Guide Service is going to join us here in a little bit, talk about trout fishing on the Little Red River and the challenges that are going on with that right now. And going to make us a little money, Ray.
All right, be back in a moment. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's summertime, y'all, which means it's the best time of the year to be outdoors. For me, every day, that 10:30 a.m. run that I take on the Arkansas River Trail, that's what it's all about. Get done producing morning mayhem at 10, get home, hit the trail. It's great to be outside. It's great to be active. What can put a halt to your summer fun? It's joint pain. Hey, everybody, it's Josh Neighbors for QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people achieve lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. Regenerative medicine used to be seen as an alternative, but now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics, they are the nation's leader. They have potent and powerful cellular level treatments that help revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain, they're going right after it. So say goodbye to that chronic pain that's keeping you from enjoying the summer sun and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. Welcome back to Rick Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, coming to you live from our Honda North Little Rock studios. Anne Marie Doremus has been with us throughout the program. Lowell Myers joins us now from Sword Lip 'em Guide Service on the Little Red River. Always a delight to have you, Lowell.
Hey, it's good to be with you, Ray. Always a pleasure to be with you and Brian.
Well, y'all have had some really challenging conditions up there. It just does not seem like the rain is going to stop. How's that? What's that doing to the fishing?
You know, I guess everybody's experiencing the challenge throughout the state. Of course, being on the tailwater, we look at how much water is coming into the lake. I think right now the Greers Ferry Lake is about 10 feet, maybe just a little over the pool that they want it at. And so there's a lot of water behind the dam. We know we're going to get a lot more than we're getting. Right now, the generation schedule is 12 hours on and 12 hours off, starting about 9 o'clock in the morning, ending about 9 o'clock in the evening. So it's fishable. You know, it drops out. You can start about river, the midsection, and start working your way down, and actually really good water for boat fishing. And you got wade fishing up at below the dam early in the morning, and then you wade fishermen can kind of work their way down the river ahead of the generation. So right now we're doing okay on the Little Red. We just know that we're going to get a lot more water sometime soon. We know the Bull Shoals Lake is quite a bit higher than the Greers Ferry Lake. I think they're like something like over 20 feet above their pool. So they're
30.
Their focus right now is to get the water off Bull Shoals and the North Fork, and that puts a lot of water into the White River, and they're not going to stress the White River more with a lot of water coming out of the Little Red. So sometime soon, you know, we know it's going to happen, but right now it's good.
I got to ask you, as someone who's lived on the river before, all of this water that's been released over the last few months, was there much damage to people's docks and banks washing away?
You know, Ray, we haven't noticed a lot of people's docks. There were during there were a couple of times we had generation. The Corps of Engineers did a good job as far as controlling any flooding, but there's just situations that beyond their control when they were releasing water, and we got like 6 inches of rain or 7 inches of rain between Pangburn and Heber Springs, which put a lot of water in the river coming out of the creek. There were some docks that were being stressed. I haven't heard of anybody losing a dock or anything like that. It is this year. I was just talking to someone this afternoon. This year, we've noticed more of the banks sloughing off into the river. We've I bet I can count maybe 5 or 6 areas that a whole section of the bank just kind of sloughed off into the river. So we're experiencing that this year. You know, that's not unusual, but that many is above normal.
So it sounds like y'all are kind of fishing ahead of the rises. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is right now, Brian. If you can get behind the previous night's generation, and you can get a full day fishing in before the generation catches you. Say the generation, it takes for them to, when they start the generation, it's going to take about 6 hours, 6 to 6.5 hours before it gets to Pangburn. So you can put in at Dripping Springs or at Lobo, and you can start fishing, and you can put in a full 8 hours before you catch the rise. Normally you're downstream a good ways, so you're going to, when you're motoring back up, you're going to be running into 2 units of water, but it's doable. Yeah, it's really doable. You know, our biggest challenge right now, the generation has been okay, but these daily rains, it doesn't take much to get the river either heavily stained or muddy. We've had several days over the last few weeks that, the river is just not fishable because it was muddy. And even on upstream, closer to the dam, it was muddy just from the creek runoff.
We're visiting with Lowell Myers of SOAR Lip 'Em All Guide Service. Lowell, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can go on our website, soarlipemall.com, or give me a call at 501-230-0730, and or just shoot me a email. Be happy to visit with them how we can set up a trip for them.
Well, with those rises and falls, you know, trout, they got a certain feeding pattern and rising, and then it falls out. How are you catching them?
Yeah, right now, you know, we kind of, unfortunately, we really love our caddis hatch here on the river. We didn't have much of a caddis hatch. We had about a week, maybe so, but the water conditions during the time that they were hatching just wasn't good. So we're back to fishing a lot of midges, San Juan worms, even a midge under a San Juan worm, something like that works well. Pheasant tails are working well, and then you know, you start out pretty deep because of the previous nice generation, and you just kind of shallow up as the day goes. And the fish are there. You just got to be patient and work for them, and hopefully, you know, you get a cloudy day instead of a sunshiny day, and you can have good fishing all day long.
Oh, you've been doing this for a long time, and I'm going to ask a geography question. What's the furthest you've ever had anybody come in and say, well, I'm from North Carolina or I'm from Wyoming?
I had a couple from Australia fish with me a couple of years ago. I've had people from Japan, had someone from Russia and Saudi Arabia fish with me. So, yeah, it's, you know, not so much that they're coming just to fish the Little Red River, but they're in this area, and they just can't believe they can go trout fishing in Arkansas, here in central Arkansas, and they're pleasantly surprised. I have a group of guys from Colorado that come just about every year, if not every year, every other year. And, you know, I'm always kidding them that, hey, we go out there to trout fish in Colorado. And but they love coming to Arkansas. They'll do a day on the White River, a day on the North Fork, and a day on the Little Red. And they just think this is something else. The fisheries that we have here in Arkansas, they just can't believe the number of trout you can catch, and they love it. So it's amazing the people that will come in to this area to trout fish. The word's getting out. You know, we used to have a little secret here on the Little Red, but that word is out. So we have a lot of people coming in to fish. I think you talking about having Anne Marie on earlier. You know, trout, the purchase of trout stamp outnumbers the number of duck stamps in Arkansas now. So there's more trout fishermen coming in to fish than duck hunting.
You're
That's
exactly
hard to believe.
right. We need to talk about that when we get back.
All right, we'll take a pause. Back with more after this. The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
A sale 200 million years in the making. It's Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event. Get out of that old fossil into a new GMC Sierra starting as low as $479 a month. Every new Buick on the lot at 0.9%. During Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event, we're rendering your current loan completely extinct. Make an appointment to get out of the dinosaur you're currently driving. 501-945-4444. 2025 Sierra 2500 HD. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP. Sierra 1500 with up to $12,500 off. Terrain's at just $279 per month. It's the loan and lease extinction event at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30833, 31064, 31456. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where the hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
Join the Zone each Monday for Game Balls and Jockstraps, brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Find out who made the best, average, and worst headlines in sports and entertainment each Monday as Justin and DJ give you their Game Balls and Jockstraps on the Zone from 10 to 1. It's all brought to you by A Caddy's Touch Landscaping, 501-794-2770. Call today to get your landscape updated to a whole new level and be listening for Game Balls and Jockstraps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, heading into the home stretch with Lowell Myers of Sore Lip Mall Guide Service up on the Little Red River. And despite the high water and the swift water and the brown water, Lowell is still catching trout up there. Lowell, real quick, tell us how to get in touch with you, what people need to do to get in on some of that action.
Yeah, the website, sorelipmall.com, has all of our contact information there, so just feel free to reach out either through email or the phone number is listed, and we'll set you up. And, you know, I'm going to say, I'd love for you to come fish with me. We do trout magnet, which is spin fishing. We do fly fishing. But there are a lot of guides, wonderful guides on this river. And I'd highly recommend just Google searching these guides on the Little Red, and they will put you on some fish, guarantee you.
Lowell, I like fishing with you. That one time we went a few years ago, you and a few other guys took the commissioners for our Heber Springs meeting.
Yes.
We all went on a fishing escapade, and that was so much fun. And honestly, I haven't been back since because I had so much fun. I need to come back up and fish with you.
You need to come on up, Emery. We had such a wonderful time just showing you guys a lot of the commissioners hadn't been on the river. And so it's just a good opportunity to get everybody out there on the river and just show them what a resource we have here in Central Arkansas.
Oh, it is. And, all of our trout stream habitat supported through our trout stamp. And you're right. Duck hunters, it seems like we talk about that a lot because I'm an avid duck hunter. But let's be honest here. We have more deer hunters in our state, and we definitely have more fishermen and trout fishermen than what we sell in duck stamps, because we sell annually, let's call it around 100,000 duck stamps, annually, and trout double that.
Lowell, I'm
Yeah.
gonna a follow-up question that Ray asked. What's the furthest downstream you've caught a trout?
Yeah, I've actually, Brian, I've caught trout. My personal best trout was caught right at the bridge at Thurston. And so you're not going to catch trout down there regularly during the summer, but especially in late fall, winter, early spring, you can. I have a couple of guys that fish with me. We'll put in at the lowest boat ramp in here on the river, which is we call it, the 310 boat ramp. But anyway, and we'll float almost to Searcy during the day, and we can catch brown trout, rainbow trout. We've caught smallmouth. We've caught walleye. You've caught bass. There's no telling what you can catch once you get from that transitional water from cold water to warm water. It's a phenomenal area. Probably some of the prettiest section of the river on the Little Red is the further between Pangburn and Searcy on the river. There's some bluffs in there that would rival bluffs along the Buffalo River. It's amazing.
Wow, I haven't been down there.
I have not ever fished down there either. I thought Pangburn's about the farthest down I've been, but you were talking about caddis hatches earlier. Are there places on the river that have those in greater abundance than other stretches?
Yeah, we found it. They're all up and down the river, but we tend to kind of say that your midsection and your lower section is going to, just because the water gets a little warmer, and we also have there's just a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation, a lot of moss in the river. It just seems like there's a lot. The hatch is more prolific out in this section. There have been times you motor up the river, you can't even open your mouth motoring up the river because you're going to get a caddis in. So, we love the caddis hatch, and so do the brown trout, and so do the rainbow trout. So it's a lot of fun. You just gotta have your flies tied really well because you're competing against some, real flies there, and you're trying to get them to hit yours.
Have you all seen any returns from the Bonneville Cutthroat project that happened here a couple of years ago?
We didn't, Brian. We knew that the cards were stacked against us on that. If you remember when we did that, the day before and the night before we were to plant the eggs. Of course, we already had the eggs in from Montana to plant. We had about 4 inches of rain. So when we were planting the eggs, it really looked like the Mississippi. It was just dirty water, and it was just not conducive to a good hatch. And we had high water after that. We hoped that some of them would survive. When we reclaimed the egg boxes, we didn't have any eggs in the boxes. So they all, hatched at some point or got washed out with high water. But as far as I know, and I haven't heard any reports that anybody's caught one or seen one or anything like that.
Well, Lowell Myers, we are out of time here on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Really appreciate you joining us, and I hope that folks will come up there and look you up, catch a few trout, enjoy the Little Red River, and enjoy that part of the Southern Ozarks. And Anne-Marie Doremus, thank you for joining us. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
All right, folks, we're here on Monday nights, 7 to 8 o'clock. As I always say, get out and enjoy the Arkansas Outdoors.